Hi, my name is Dom Ferrolino. I'm an engineer on the Chrome team, and I also happen to be one of the editors of the Refer Policy W3C web standard, which is mostly what we'll be talking about today. This talk is basically about refers, refer policies, and how they intersect with the redirects. So the high-level overview of refers goes something like this. When you're on a site like a.com and you send something like a script request off to another server, the browser will add a bunch of request headers to this request, one of which is the refer header. The refer header is a request header that's been notoriously spelled wrong since 1996, which is why there's one R in the middle there. And it sends basically the current document's URL on any outgoing requests. This is also a privacy leak, even though it's super useful for things like marketing promotions and campaigns and server-side statistics collection. It sends a lot of information, potentially sometimes the full URL of the document, to outgoing requests, which can leak some sensitive information to the servers. In order to mitigate the leakiness of the refer header, the web platform developed the refer policy response header that documents can be served with to instruct the browser how much exactly of the document's URL should be leaked on outgoing requests. We can see it in action here when a document on a.com is served with this header and has the same origin refer policy directive applied to it. Requests outgoing to, for example, b.com take into consideration the refer policy header when computing the refer header that goes in the request. In this case, the browser will inspect both origins involved, determine that they are cross-origin, and therefore we cannot include any refer header on this request. Okay, we made it this far, so how do redirects interact with refers? Well, there's a common misconception that I see people have on the web platform that is the site that is used to compute the refer header actually changes on redirects. However, this is not really true. So there's two things to keep in mind when it comes to redirects and refers. Number one, the site that's actually used to compute the content of the refer header never changes. And number two, the refer policy response header on any redirects is indeed honored. So let's see how this plays out in a few examples. Here's a document on a.com that will always send a refer header. And note, on request to b.com, the refer header indeed exists and is intact. If b.com were to redirect to c.com, for example, note that the refer information sent in the header is a.com, not b.com. Here's another example where a.com will always send a refer, and on a request to b.com, as expected, it's intact. But b.com is a redirect served with the same origin refer policy, which is a tighter policy. And so if it redirects to c.com, we actually remove the refer header altogether. Here's a different example where a.com has a refer policy that results in no refer header to b. But b.com might want to actually expose a.com as the refer on its redirect. So it'll serve itself with the unsafe URL refer policy, which basically means perform no redaction. But the problem is refer redaction is a one-way street. Once you lose information, you can never get it back. And so when you provide no redaction on an already redacted string, its redirect also forwards along no information. This is most trivially observed when a.com has the same origin refer policy, requests something from b.com and therefore doesn't have a refer header, but b.com actually redirects back to a.com. Notice the request is ultimately same origin, but because we lost the refer header somewhere in the redirect chain, we never get it back. And that about covers it, so thanks for watching.